The Way, the Truth, the Life Watchers. Hello again, people. Another video here for you. Yeah, some more breaking news. Last 3 days. We got Trump going to Saudi Arabia. 600 billion worth of deals in the Middle East. The title is for this news piece: Golden Swords, Arabian Horses. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince gives Trump a lavish royal welcome. Yeah, so I've got my journal there, just looking what things that I've jotted down here. Yeah, so you've got Trump. He keeps mentioning this peace and safety, which was in Thessalonians, what Paul was talking about. This peace and safety. He said it 43 times when he's addressing people. Yeah, he's gone over to there and they've rolled out the purple carpet for Trump. Not the red carpet, the purple carpet. They didn't do that for Biden. I think Biden just got the red carpet. But yeah, it's not looking good, I don't think. Not in the Middle East. This guy, Trump, although I do believe God's using him to usher in the rapture and then the tribulation will start, I think that this guy, Trump, he's in bed with these guys, definitely. He's definitely in bed with them. But I'll just get us straight onto the news piece for this. Yeah, it says 3 years after Joe Biden's cursory greeting with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Donald Trump luxuriated in an extravagant royal welcome as he's arrived in Saudi Arabia on Tuesday. Concerns about human rights and fossil fuels in the oil-rich autocracy, I think I've pronounced that right, were now here at the agenda. Instead, the day was all about cutting deals and celebrating a personal relationship that's endured through scandal and political turmoil. I really believe we like each other a lot, Trump said as they sat on golden chairs under elaborate chandeliers in the royal palace. During a speech later in the day, the president described Prince Mohammed as an incredible man and my friend. The feeling was clearly mutual. The Crown Prince addresses his guest as "My dear President Trump," and the Saudis played his campaign anthems "God Bless the USA" and the YMCA during his appearance at an investment forum. So he's in bed with these guys, so yeah, in bed with them. And it's not going to go down well, I don't think. The wolves with sheep clothing on, they'll come back to bite in the end, because these lot here, nah, they're not good people, I don't think. He's in bed with these people, and they're like snakes. They will bite. They'll bite back in the end. It says for the US Republican president, the visit was a return to the international stage after his comeback election victory. Exactly a year ago, he was on trial in a hush money case, listening to his former lawyer testify against him in New York City courtroom. Although Trump recently attended the funeral of Pope Francis in Rome, Saudi Arabia was originally intended to be his initial overseas destination, just like his first term. It served as a glided debut for a foreign policy focused on securing cash infusions for American businesses. Trump pumped his fist as he steps out on Air Force One, then descended the stairs to shake hands with Prince Mohammed, who greeted his guest on the tarmac in a rare display of respect. And why Trump's doing this is he's dismissed Israel. He missed Israel's 77th anniversary. So he's bypassing Israel all the time, ignoring them. He did that with the 70th anniversary as well. He sent his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, for his dealings. He didn't go there himself. So it's not good, I don't think. There. The Crown Prince, Saudi Arabia's de facto ruler, has been eager to rehabilitate his global image after the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, which US intelligence officials accused him of ordering. He also seeking an economic rival for the kingdom to reduce his reliance on fossil fuels, and the occasion was an opportunity to demonstrate that the floodgates for the investment are open again. Yeah, that journalist Jamal Khashoggi, He was a journalist. I'm sure he was born and bred in Saudi Arabia, and he's in America as a journalist, and he was speaking out on articles about the king. I think he must have said something, and there's been some accusations from America saying that they were blaming him for the killing, because what happened was that journalist Jamal Khashoggi, he was in Turkey and he was getting married, and he had to sort his visas out or something, and he had to go to the consulate, the Saudi Arabia consulate in Turkey. He went in there, he didn't come back out. There was CCTV and everything, and it's showing you him walking in, and it didn't show it, no visibility of him, just didn't come out the building. So where's he gone? So obviously the accusations started spinning around the world then. Yeah, so you know what I mean? It's you just gotta go back to this. Yeah, so basically it's just going into the welcome of it all. So they've treated him like a king, but the deals, I'll just get the deals up. White House announces 600 billion Saudi investment in US during Trump visit. So he's not just gone over there. They're not even mentioning human rights or anything. Human rights is not even being mentioned. They're just going over there, and he's getting, he's lining his own pockets as well. It's not just to do. It's all to do with this two-state solution. But I'll get inside in a minute. President Donald Trump spoke at US-Saudi investment forum in Riyadh. The White House announced Saudi Arabia is committed to invest $600 billion in a series of deals with the US. Trump said during the speech that he will order cessation of sanctions against Syria. He's just lifted them as well, them sanctions in Syria. President Donald Trump on Tuesday praised Saudi Arabia and its leaders after the White House announced a commitment by the kingdom to invest $600 billion in a series of deals with the US. It just goes into the actual deals, what they're going to do. It's defence budget as well of 7.8 billion defence package. And they've got OPEC oil, and they're on about giving him discounted oil because of all these deals. They're all working with each other, so they're all lining their own pockets. Israel's being missed out here. They're doing it under the nose. I don't think they're happy. Pakistan and India are not happy with them. It's not looking good. I think we are living in dire times. Just going to this. So Trump, looking at the journal, he's gone over to Saudi Arabia, and he's took some deep staters with him as well, some CEOs. He's took the CEO Larry Fink of BlackRock. He's took him, and he's took Elon Musk, which he's got Tesla, and he's got the bloody Neuralink in the brain, and you got Sam Altman, and these other ones, etc. But we all know Larry Fink with BlackRock, that's going around buying everything up, every bank. He once said in one of his interviews that he wants for the human race, he wants a camera put in everyone's house so they can see what you're doing. Is that right? And this is a guy that Trump's in. He's in bed with people like that, who's going over to Saudi Arabia, and then they're obviously talking with the Arabs. They're in bed with the Arabs, and it's not looking good in the end times. No, you can't do what you're doing. And it says inventors of evil minds, and I'll just get the Bible here just to tell you. It says here, Romans verse 18, For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness. And then it also says here, just from like verse 30, it mentions a few things that you shouldn't be doing. It says like backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things. So it's there. So they're in bed with the Arabs, and we all know that Elon Musk and all these people that are involved, these deep staters, they want this tech Babel, they want digital Genesis, they want this golden age, which is the Aquarian age. They want this, because the Tower of Babel, when they tried to build the Tower of Babel, and God destroyed it, and what he did, they back then in the Old Testament, they wanted to build this tower to try and reach heaven, and they're obviously going round trying to have this one world government. Back then they're trying to have this one world religion, one world government, and obviously God destroyed it, and that's why he split everyone up in the land and put them in different countries and give them different languages. That's why everyone has different languages now, and they're trying to do it now. It's the same thing. It's history repeating itself, and they're saying it's this golden age, Aquarian age. It's not. It's the tribulation, what they're talking about. You got all this climate change and all that, what they're going out, net zero and all that. You know, this climate change is a con. The climate change is the tribulation. It's what's coming to the tribulation. If anything's happening in the world to do with climate change, it's because it's what they're doing. It's what they're doing to the world to create this. They're creating problems, and it's always climate change. It's nothing to do with climate change. And then you got history repeating itself again. Now you got the final phase, and what they want a one world system united by technology, false peace. And this is what Paul was saying in Thessalonians: peace and security, peace and safety. When you start hearing that word all the time, and Trump said it 43 times, there's been several leaders that have said it, they've all been saying it, peace and safety, peace and safety. You know you're near, the rapture's on the doorstep, the tribulation's about to start, it's getting close, your time's short. So they want the one world system united by technology, false peace, and it's slavery. It is slavery. You're a glorified slave. You try, stop paying your bills, and then ask yourself if you're free. You're not free. America's not in the Bible. Doesn't mention it in the Bible because of judgment, because of the Revelation 12 sign that happened in 2017, the first mark that went across, and then you had the 2024 mark that has done the X. That's your Revelation 12 sign. That's judgment. That's what's coming to America. For all what Trump's doing, it sounds good, but it's not going to go his way. God's going to deal with America. It's going to be dealt with. And you've got Russia and China that are not happy. There's too many players around the world that are not happy with America. And they've got itchy fingers. They've got nukes there. And, you know, they've all got, but like Russia, they've got bunkers for their own citizens. They've got a bunker there that can put the whole of Moscow in this bunker. Not just the elites, like Putin, his elites. You've got the public as well. They've got a bunker. Has America got a bunker? No. They've got bunkers for the elites, but they haven't got bunkers for the American people because they're not bothered about them. And that's what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen because it's prophecy. There's going to be a nuke that'll go off in America. Something's going to happen in America where it's going to be judgment, and that's what's going to happen. And Russia and China are happy with it. I'm trying to think what else to say on it. And then you've got Trump here. Just another news piece here. Let's just read this here. Syria offered to build Trump Tower in Damascus before President's meeting. Can you believe it? I mean, it's just lifted sanctions in Syria, and you got Christians there that have been beheaded, and he's just lifted the sanctions there, and now they've offered to build him a Trump Tower there in Damascus, and we all know what happens to Damascus, because that's a prophecy as well. In Isaiah 17, if you read that, Isaiah 17, Damascus gets destroyed. And I've heard a rumour, and I don't know whether it, I probably can believe it, that there's a rumour going around they're going to build a statue of him in Syria, an actual statue, a golden statue. Well, that's pronouncing yourself as a god, an idol. People will look at that and idolise it. It's wrong. You don't do that. You don't do things like that. It's wrong. It's forbidden. No, it's not good at all, I don't think. But this there, just read it, this news piece. Damascus courted Donald Trump with a range of incentives, including the potential of a Trump Tower in the Syrian capital before a meeting between the United States President and his Syrian counterpart. The strategic pitch also included the possibility of detente with Israel and US access to Syrian oil gas reserves, according to source familiar with the effort. There's not much on that. That former part of broader push to broker meeting between the two leaders, which occurred on Wednesday. Yeah, so there's not much on it there, to be honest, on that. Yeah, he told me he wants a Trump Tower in Damascus. He wants peace with his neighbours. Peace, there's that word again. What he told me is good for the region and good for Israel. You see, it's a false, whether they know it or whether they don't, what it is, prophecy, you can't stop prophecy. Prophecy has got to happen because it's written by God. It's going to happen, and you can't get away from it. And whether these know it or not, I don't know. But I'm just trying to think what else I've read there. It says here, Thessalonians. Thessalonians, what Paul said. It says here, chapter 5, Thessalonians 1, chapter 5, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as a travail upon a woman with a child, and they shall not escape. You see, they're blinded to it, and they're doing what they're doing. You've got evil minds, they're doing what they're doing. They keep saying peace and safety, putting a false narrative out there to the public around the world. The people are going to suck it in, believe it, and at the minute now everything's calm, as Trump says, calm before the storm. Keep saying peace and safety. It's not just him that's been saying it, other leaders have been saying it. And that's what Paul said, look for that, because your redemption draws nigh. The rapture is on the doorstep. The 7-year tribulation is about to start, and then it'll just happen like that. And at the minute it's quiet now, and they keep saying peace and safety, and that's Thessalonians. And they want to reset everything. They want to put this digital currency in place, which is obviously, it's all part of the beast system. The beast system is the golden age is the beast system. It's a false narrative. It's just, one world religion, one world language. They're trying to put all the churches, like they want to put Islam with Christianity, with Hindu, Sikh. They want to put it all together and have one world religion, one world language. It's crazy. It's crazy. You can see where it's all going, and it's going that direction, and you got all this distraction in the world, because it's Satan. Satan wants you looking that way, with entertainment, with false news, false narratives. We've had 81 volcanoes going off their sign since all this has been going down. You've got all the cyber attacks increasing around, especially in Europe and Britain and America. And I always remember Hitler, one of his quotes, what he used to say. Hitler said, if you keep telling a lie, this is one of his quotes, he said, if you keep telling a lie, they'll believe it in the end. The masses, which is the public, you keep telling them a lie, and in the end they'll believe it. And that lie then becomes truth. And then you've got Henry Kissinger. What did he say now? One of his famous quotes, Henry Kissinger from America. He said, he said, we want doers. We want doers, not thinkers. You know what I mean? So he doesn't want you thinking outside the box. He just wants you to pay taxes, get along with the programme, just carry on working, be a doer, and don't think for yourself. Don't think outside the box. You just be you and just, pay taxes and just keep working. Go along with the programme and everything will be okay. We'll leave you alone. It's just now. You can see where the world's going, and it's all wrong. It's all wrong. But yeah, there's not much to be said on this now. But what else was there now? Yeah, the two-state solution. So that he's in bed with the Arabs there. He's too close with the Arabs, and it's not going to go down well, all this anyway. You got the two-state solution. You've got the Abraham Accords, and they're already talking now about flattening Gaza, the Gaza Strip, so they can build this Riviera on there. What Trump was on about, where they had a thing on. They had like adverts, what AI did I think it might be on YouTube. They had like AI created an advert where it was a Riviera in Gaza, the Gaza Strip, and it even had a goal, and it had Trump on a sunbed with Netanyahu of Israel, President of Israel, and the sunning it up, and Trump had a golden statue. What AI created, it's just evil, pure evil. You just don't do it. And he's in bed with the Arabs there, and they're pushing for this two-state solution where they can put this pipeline through, and then that's why they cut Russia. Where Russia had a pipeline, didn't they? And it got blew up. I can't think now what the pipeline was now. I think there might have been two that was distributing gas to Europe, and they blew that up, cut it off. Russia was mad about it, and now Saudi Arabia want an oil pipe going through there, so they can distribute, whether it's gas or oil, I don't know. It could be one or the other, and then they give it to Europe at a cheaper price. So they're cutting Russia out. You can't, it's not going to end well. It's just not going to end well. You've got China and Russia together. You've got North Korea. You've got Iran. You've already got nuclear weapons. They hate Israel with a passion. No doubt that China or Russia's give them nuclear weapons. They've given North Korea nuclear weapons. They're arming people they're arming people to the teeth with these weapons that don't like Israel. And this is what I'm saying. It's all bubbling around Israel. It's the Middle East is on fire, and it's not going to go down well there. And this two-state solution is a way in. Once they get that in, and Israel are not happy with it, because Trump is doing things behind Israel's back. They're not. They're doing it in a conniving way, a crafty way. They're doing it, and it's a way in. It's a way in, and this is when the tribulation starts. This is a way in, so the Antichrist can come in, which will be some guy that's charming, nice. It'll be, people will be prepped, because there's no world leaders around the world now. They're praying. They're all praying for a world leader, and this leader that's going to come out of it will be the Antichrist. And this Antichrist figure, people think that he's for the people around the world, and he's not. He's something else. he's not for you, and he'll sell it. People will be praying for this person. He'll come in, And people say, oh, we've got him, he's this charming man, he's great, isn't it? And they'll fall for it. But yeah, under the veil, under the facade, as they say, it's a different character. And this is where this is when the tribulation, this is where it'll be. This is the way in where he'll come in, and he was the guy that's supposed to pronounce himself God, because he's the one that's going to sit in the third temple and sit on the throne, as they say, in the third temple, and that is a total abomination to God. You just don't do that, and this is what's coming. But the rapture's got to happen first. The rapture is the one. This is all the birth pains around the world now, what's happening, all the sunspots, all the pestilences, all the volcanoes, the wildfires, the tornadoes, the floods. You can keep going on and on. They're all signs from God warning you that your time's short. Get saved now through Jesus, his son, because you can only go through Jesus to get to the Father. And this is what's going down. And they're waiting, they're waiting and they're pushing for the Antichrist. This is what the world's waiting for. And, and everyone loves all this technology around the world. They love all this tech. And you've got robots now, AI fighting back in a factory with chat. What's the end game here? Well, you know what the end game is. It's not going to go down well. It's not going to go down well. And they're going to be using all this AI in military. It's already in the military defence packages and everything. And yeah, and you wonder why in America now all the jobs are going to start going now, and they're going to put AI in there. They're about putting robots in place of workers, and they're going to be taking your jobs and everything. They're getting ready for the tribulation, and they keep going on about climate change. Climate change is getting bad, and that's because it's building up to this tribulation. It's all going that way. It's all going in one direction, and then and that's what all the tribulation. Then when the Antichrist gets that in place, because everything's coming in alignment now, ready for the Antichrist to take over. Then he can take over the reins, the digital currency, the one world religion, the one world language, the digital currency. Once he gets all that in place, he'll take the reins and he'll be in charge of it. And he won't be a person he thought he was. He's going to be pure evil on this earth when he gets in charge. But we won't be here. We'll be raptured out. The ones that are saved are, but you'll have tribulation saints. You'll be on the run, and if you don't take the mark, if you take the mark, then you've done it, then, haven't you? You're in a line then with Satan. You're going to hell. So after the 7 years is up, Jesus Christ comes back, the second coming, for his millennium reign. When he comes back in the Medigo War, which is short for Armageddon. So after the 7 years, Jesus comes back and he defeats Satan and his fallen angels, the ones that got cast out of heaven, and all the demons. They get thrashed, don't they, by Jesus? Obviously, we know what the story is, and then Jesus then sets up his millennium reign, and that's what's coming. But you need to get saved now, while you can. It's not looking good. Yeah, so that's it really on the news and on the prophecies and that. So if you read Isaiah 17, it'll tell you about Damascus getting destroyed. You look at Daniel 9:27, read that. Read Ezekiel 37, 38, 39. I'd say Ezekiel 38, 39, but you can read 37 as well. Read that. They're your prophecies. Just read them. That's about it on that. Yeah. So let's just do a different bit. I'm going to do a bit of a different spin on things today. Right. Yeah, I'm going to do a different spin on things today. So, be led by the Spirit. Looking at my journal here, what I've jotted down. Be led by the Spirit and not the flesh. We need to crucify the flesh every day. Let the Holy Spirit lead us and not the flesh. You can't let the flesh have what it wants. You're a spirit in a body, and you house a soul. So, here, I'm just going to explain it now. It's in Romans 3:2-5, and it's also in 1 John 2:2. And it's a word, and it's called propitiation. It's a big word, and it's the only word in, I think it's mentioned twice, it might be, or it might be just once. Yeah, actually it's twice, because it's in Romans and John. Yeah, so propitiation is a big word in the Bible, and what it means the act of appeasing God's wrath. So, what it means is, and this is how I've put it here, God poured his wrath on sin onto Jesus. So God put all his wrath onto the sin, which is into Jesus, and then it acts as a substitute. And then you can go to hell and pay for your sins, or I can trust in Jesus, who already suffered for my sins on the cross. Propitiation meaning to faith. If you go, let's just say, if you go and kill 5 people, you deserve to go to jail, don't you? So, and let's just say, if they put you into, let's just say they put you into the electric chair, and then they're about to flip the switch to get rid of you, to pay for your crime, what you've just done. You've just killed 5 people, and you deserve to go to jail. And then you go to the electric chair, and then someone's about to flip the switch, and then along comes Jesus and says, I'll come in and take your place. And Jesus took your place and paid the penalty for your sins. And that's what he did. That's what he did. That's basically putting it in a different, it's a different spin-off, like in a different spin. And then you put your trust in the blood, and that's the good news. That's your good news. So get saved. No excuses. Just trying to look at other stuff here now. So God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. People are asleep, and you've got a chance to get saved, to do the right thing. Greater is he that is in you, he that is in the world. Jesus is in you. He's part of you. He's just waiting for you to invite him. Invite him in. Get saved. So the power of God is there. He's there. He's all around us. But you've got a chance to invite him in. Seek him. Go to that secret place. God gives you eyes to see, and he gives you ears to hear. You can have discernment, you can have wisdom, you can have knowledge, you can have peace, you can have be humble in your obedience. Let's just have a look here. Obviously, don't sin, have righteousness, have understanding as well. So you can have be humble in your obedience, don't sin, have righteousness, have discernment, have peace, love, have wisdom, have knowledge and understanding. Yeah. So it's there, isn't it? Be of the Spirit and not of the flesh, which is sin. This is your church. This is your temple. This is what you fight every day. This body is your blood and flesh, and this is the sin. Because you should be of the Spirit, not the flesh and blood, which is there. This is why you should look after your body, your temple, your church, because this is what houses God. You're housing God inside here. This is God inside you. If you invite him in and get saved, and You connect with him. So this is what you're fighting every day. You're fighting the sin. So yeah, be led by your spirit man, your inner man. Yeah, so be led by your spirit, which is inside your body. Yeah, look after it. Trying to put another spin on things. Trying to think of other things. All things work together for the good of them that love God, that are called to his purpose. So, but seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. See what I mean? You ask for things and you want to get saved and you want to do the right thing and be righteous and plant good seeds and not bad seeds, because Jesus looks at you, God looks at you as a tree. If you bear good fruit, you're going to receive your harvest, aren't you, as they say. You're going to get your good harvest. Because he can see if you're withering bad fruit, he can see it in you. He sees it from the heart. But he looks at it as a tree, so bear good fruit. And also as well, abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. So words that come out of your mouth are powerful. So whatever you speak, you got to speak good. Watch what you're saying, because words can open doors. If you're speaking bad and evil, and they can actually open doors. And like they say, don't you? If you live by the sword, you die by the sword. So if you're speaking bad things, well, it's going to come for you, isn't it? It's going to come after you. But if you speak in alignment with God, the Word of God, and you speak words of wisdom, and you speak words that are not detrimental to you and God, then you're going to be okay, aren't you? It's going to be good for you. Yeah, plant good seeds. But that one there, all things work together for the good of that little of God that are called to his purpose. Yeah, so it's powerful messages, powerful words. Yeah, just trying to think now. Yeah, like Joseph, he had a calling on his life. God knew him and picked him before he was in the womb, before he was even conceived. God knew him. He was already ordained. Already positioned for that position. And let his so before he was conceived. Just trying to think what I've put here actually. Yeah, so God knew Joseph before he was in the womb, before he was conceived, and he already picked him. And yeah, his family, when they obviously didn't have a clue, they treated him. They didn't have no respect for him. They betrayed him. They lied on him. Well, they put him in prison, didn't they? They sold him into slavery, and they just used him. And because he interpreted a dream, and they got jealous and envy, and basically God already knows this was going to happen. So God allowed his family to do that to him. They allowed it to happen. And what it says there is God uses people to teach others God uses people to teach others where they're going wrong in their lives. Yeah, so because Joseph, he had favour, he had betrayal, he had envy on him, he had patience, he had wisdom on his life, and his family didn't like that. They couldn't get their head around it. They must have thought, why can't it be us? Why not me? And that's jealousy, it's envy. And this is what I'm saying, that God does use families he allows families to do that to other people, and he allows it to with Joseph, but there's all a meaning around it, and his family didn't realise. They thought they were getting the better of him. with evil minds, and they're doing this to him and doing that. Although Joseph went through it, and he went through all the pain, that's going through the wilderness, that's going through the valley, as they say, the valley shadow of death, and he was going through it, and he had all that pain, but he didn't realise, obviously, Joseph believed in God, and God knew this, and whatever happened, all the stuff that happened to Joseph, he went through it all, and he come through it in the end, and then he ended up, was it Prince, King, obviously in the palace, Prince was it, ended up a prince in the palace, and then his family had to go back to him because there was famine in the land, and God knew this, and then they had to go back. But did Joseph kick him out and say, no, because of what you did to me, and I'm not gonna go there anymore? He helped him, because obviously he knew that Joseph had the right mindset. He was set apart, and he knew him from the heart that what he was going to do, and this is what he does. God and Joseph, so all that pain that he went through was for a reason. He went through the pain, and although his family were doing that to him, they must have thought they were getting the better and all that, but what they didn't realise, they're actually training him. They're training Joseph for this thing to come out of him. All this, the meaning of life and everything, what was going through him. They brought it out of him, they're training, they're actually elevating him into his position, but they couldn't see that, because God had already knew what was going to happen. This is the best way I can explain it. Putting a different spin on things. So all the bad that they were doing, they didn't realise. They were just elevating him. They were just positioning him. They were pushing him into his position. So the more evil they were doing to him, and the more thing they would, he ended up becoming the prince, and he ended up, he was a leader. He wasn't a bully, he was a leader, and that's what God wants. And his family looked at Joseph as well. They looked at him as as a weakness. They looked at him like he was weak, a weak person. He wasn't weak. They just didn't know. They didn't have a clue, his family. He wasn't weak. And they must have looked at him like he was gullible, he was a joke, laughing at him, mocking, scoffing, like they did with Jesus. They did the same with Jesus, did the same with Noah. All these characters in the Bible, they did exactly the same thing. They just laughed and mocked, but what happened? There was a turning point. Something happened. Something happens. And this is what I'm saying. His weakness, what they thought, when they looked at him and they thought him as weakness, that weakness becomes strength in the end. And that strength was Joseph being a leader. That's what God ordained him to be. He wanted him to be in that position. He wanted him to be prince. He wanted him to have, because he had the right mindset. And he could steer people in a certain way. He can talk to people, advise people, give them words of wisdom, and people listen to him. And people will get envious of that, and people will get jealous because of the world that we live in. And, that just putting different spin on things today with that. So I hope you've had a good day. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope someone's got something out of this. I hope I have explained it the best I can. I hope someone understands it, and I hope that you get saved. So get saved, believe on him, go to that secret place, believe in his blood, be covered in the blood. He'll wipe all your sins whiter than snow. Believe he rose on the third day, sinless God. He defeated death, he crushed death, shot up, sinless God, and get saved. Because your time is short. This world is dire. It's going downhill. It's going south. It's not good. It's not good at all. But I just want people to get saved, and I hope you do the right thing. And the article, the news article. Let's just have a look. Yeah, the news article for, let's have a look. Yeah, so this is with AP News. Golden swords, Arabian horses. Saudi Arabia's crown prince gives Trump a lavish royal welcome. Yeah, so the link for that will be in the description below. So I'll leave that one for you. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you again in another video. So I'll wrap this one up, and all I'll say is bye, see ya, and as usual, shalom.